Great. Let me jump in to give some guidance on how to prepare and what you do if you have an ICE visit or a raid. So, it's a very stressful, disruptive, often intimidating process, and they can occur without prior notice at any time. ICE agents are going to be entering your work premises. They're going to be to conduct searches, seize documents, to question employees. And when this happens, you really need to act swiftly. So the first thing is preparing. Don't wait till this happens. Start preparing now. The fact that you're here on the webinar is a really good start. Prepare in advance. Develop a plan, a clear plan that is in place that will protect your rights, your employees' rights, while remaining compliant with the immigration laws. It's really important to designate a company representative that's going to be the point person for all communications and interactions with ICE. You can consider setting up a whole management ICE response team, depending on how large your workforce is. Also, very important is to retain legal counsel in advance. Circulate that contact information to the designated ICE representative, to your key managers who may be having those interactions with ICE. And then also very important is train your frontline workers, your key managers, everybody in between, so that everybody understands what is going on. It gets very confusing. People haven't been through this process before. Frontline employees should be trained to immediately notify the manager on duty so they can come out and talk with the agents. They should be trained that they are not authorized to share information with third parties. They should be trained not to consent to any warrant or to give any access to non-public areas in the premises. And importantly, one of the first things that they should, when they have an interaction with an ICE agent, is say, we have a company policy and it requires me to contact our designated ICE representative, and they will be immediately contacting counsel. Can you please wait until we get their response before you proceed? Then, so ICE is at the premises. What do you do? First thing, stay calm. Stay calm throughout the whole thing. Very businesslike and professional in your communications. Also, tell your employees, please stay calm. Take care of your employees. They should know, do not run for an exit. If they do that, that's the worst possible thing that can happen. That's when arrests are likely to take place, because it will give the officers some cause to make the arrest. Immediately contact that designated ICE representative and your counsel whenever any government agency comes in and starts questioning. And it's really important that the employees understand that it could be ICE, but it also could be a variety of other agencies that are at the premises. ICE is one small part of the Homeland Security Department that is responsible for enforcement of the immigration laws, but then you've also got other health and safety laws. So Cal OSHA can show up, or the California Labor Commissioner can show up and inspect. And it doesn't mean, if it is in fact ICE who's on a premises, it does not mean that they are there to do a raid. It could be they're there to question people. It could be they're there to serve a document, and that would be the extent of it. And in addition to, employees should understand as well that governmental agency officers could come to the premises, but so could a process server who's trying to serve a civil complaint or some document in a civil action. So you also want to immediately ask for identification, get their badge numbers, get the names of all of the officers. I was reading an article the other day that there's many people out there who are impersonating ICE agents. There's at least three in three different states. There's these impersonators have been charged and arrested. And then importantly, you want to tell that ICE agent that, I'm following our company policy. I'm contacting the ICE representative and the counsel. Can you please wait? They may wait, they may not. If the counsel or your ICE representative is able to be there or is able to communicate, great. But if not, that manager on duty is pretty much going to have to continue that communication process with the ICE agents. So if they haven't given you a warrant, then you want to make sure that you ask for a warrant. You want to read it and verify, is it dated and signed by a judge? If an ICE agent is presenting you with a warrant that is not signed by a judge, you need to contact counsel right away. Does the warrant identify the time frame for the search? Does it describe the premises to be searched? And does it list the items to be searched and seized? Do not consent to this search. You can accept a warrant, but that doesn't mean you're consenting to it. Regardless of what you say, that inspection and seizure is likely to proceed in any event. So be sure to raise any objection and to the process and do not consent to that search. So the officers are going to proceed with their search. What's going to happen during the search and what should you be doing? So the company representative should be following the officers throughout the entirety of the search and visit. Keep track of what they're doing. Take a video of it while on your camera. And you're going to have to record all your notes post the search and very detailed as possible. Only allow the agents access to the areas and documents that are specifically mentioned in the warrant or that are viewable in the public areas if there is no warrant. And we'll get to what you do when there is no warrant in just a second here. Any locked areas that are covered by a warrant should be unlocked if requested. You don't need to volunteer it. If they request it though, unlock it. If the officers very well may want to interview and talk with employees, do not interfere with their attempts to speak with employees. They may ask some employees to a group of employees to move over to this section, and one officer will talk with them, or they'll move employees, another group into another section, and they will separately talk with those employees. There's no obligation to assist the agents in providing information concerning any employee's immigration status or national origin, or to identify any specific individual that ICE may be looking for, unless that is specifically stated in the warrant, that they're looking for some specific person. Other than that, you don't have to assist in providing them with the information. You can tell employees it is their decision of whether or not they want to speak with the agents. However, do not direct the employees not to cooperate with the agents or to refuse to answer. Then the legal boundaries: do not lie, provide false information or misleading information to the officers, or attempt to hide or destroy documents. Avoid, again, providing the employee-specific information unless it's in the warrant, and do not assist employees leaving the premises or hiding from the agents or encouraging them in any way to do so. Again, the employees should be instructed to, stay calm. So if the warrant limits the areas to be searched, agents should not be going into those areas without your consent. Again, do not give consent to the search areas that are not listed in the warrants. If the agents try and go beyond the scope in any other way, you should be notifying the agents that you object to that. Yes, that area is not covered, I object. Then also, if the agents, they may want to take computers and electronic devices and they're in the warrants, you can ask them, please image or copy them rather than taking it. If there's items that they're going to take that will interfere with the actual business operations, note that to the officers. Ask them, can you please just image or copy these items rather than taking them from the premises themselves. And so if there is no warrant, the agents can come into the premises and enter into any area that is private. without a warrant. Not so a non-public area is off limits, and that's to the ICE agents, and that's basically any area where the general public normally is not able to freely enter and access the uh, area in that premises. It's something you may want to consider is posting signage up in your private and restricted areas to distinguish that if in fact there is a search or a visit by an ICE agent without a warrant. And again, object and let the officer know if they want to go behind closed doors. If they're going into an area that's not spelled out in the warrant, say, sir, that is a private area, and I object to you going into that area. Post the raid, you want to document everything as much as possible, everything that all the details, record the number of agents, their names, their badge numbers, what they were doing, how were they dressed. They could come in a uniform, they can be in civilian clothes, they could be armed. You want to give as much detail as possible. Log in any items that are taken, ask the officers to make copies of the documents or provide a log of what is taken, and keep track of any specific requests that these officers might ask of that person.